Okay, so why do I think that wide toe box barefoot shoes are better, especially for in the gym? Let's tackle the wide toe box thing first. I think wide toe box shoe is good all the time for every shoe ever that you have, mainly because I think that what you're putting on your foot, so as a shoe, should match your foot. It shouldn't be the other way around. You shouldn't be cramming your foot into the shoe. The shoe should be molded towards your foot. Because the shoe is just a protective layer, right? So it's not doing really anything else. Some of us, we're gonna have inserts, stuff like that. That's not exactly what I'm talking about, but a wide toe box shoe, everyone's foot is designed to be wider. If you think of the classic graphic of like a barefoot footprint, the heel's really narrow, the forefoot is gonna be nice and wide, so where the balls of your feet are, and then your big toe is actually on the outside of the ball of your foot. So if you look at a barefoot shoe, it's narrow, 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 and then it starts to get wider, and then it's actually widest where your big toe would be. So again, this is the shape of our foot. Your shoes should match the shape of your foot. Things like bunions and stuff like that, and your toes getting crammed together, and your toes being unable to move individually from one another. Your big toe especially should be able to move separately from all of your other toes. If it can't, I would blame 90% of cases on the shoes that we wear. So that's why wide toe boxes are better, especially for in the gym, but really just in general. You should always have a wide toe box shoe. Barefoot shoes are a little bit more complicated to talk about. There's really three main reasons why I think that they're better. The first is, I'll start with an analogy. So if you go into a PT clinic and someone is working on balance, you're typically going to think of that blue pad that the PT makes you stand on. You're doing balance drills. We can talk night and day if that's a good drill to do. But when you're wearing a Hoka, you're basically on that blue pad all the time with everything that you're doing. The idea of that blue pad is to create a unstable environment for you to then challenge your balance more on. So now you're just walking around in a less stable environment due to the shoes on your feet. So when you're doing things like a heavy deadlift or a heavy squat or something like that, you want to have the most stable environment possible, so then you're in the safest environment possible to produce as much force as possible, right? Always safety first. If you're in an unstable environment lifting heavier weights, then that is not a good thing. Second reason is going to be the instability again, but when it comes to single-legged exercises. When we're trying to actually improve balance, walking around on an unstable surface doing anything, it makes it really challenging. As a strength coach, I have a typical progression that we go through. You can progress balance in a variety of ways. You can change the environment that they're in. So that would be, going barefoot, putting their foot up onto something like that. Staggered stance, if something's pulling you laterally. You could change it by the load. So you can make something heavier, you can change sides that you're holding it, or you can change the way that you're holding the load or the implement. So are you holding something in front of you, behind you, to the side, whatever. There's a couple of different ways, there's a million ways to progress it. However, that's kind of the standard ways. If you're doing the most stable exercise possible, so like a supported lunge, for example, but you're wearing those big Hokas, you're basically doing the supported lunge on that blue Brillo pad or on that blue pad. So it's making it an unstable exercise or a less stable environment than it would be normally. So then it's harder to progress. So then when you're trying to do exercises that requires balance and you're struggling with them, even if your skill level is at where you should be able to do that exercise, your shoes are inhibiting you, which I think just kind of sucks because it's just your shoes that's holding you back. That's why I tell a lot of people, hey, take your shoes off, let's do them without the Hokas on, and then we'll see if it's a little bit better. And I do challenge you to do that. Like, try a lunge with your Hokas on and then try a lunge with them off. Do 5 lunges each side. Let me know which one goes better. I would argue the barefoot one, obviously based off this video. I've been talking 5 minutes about it. But I could be wrong, Third reason why I don't really like them is, or again, for in the gym, is because it sets your foot up in one specific position. So a barefoot shoe is just that. It's literally just a sole and then it's a canvas around your foot. It's not trying to put your foot in any sort of position. It just is a protective layer. When you're wearing a Hoka or something like that, it's specifically putting your foot in a position to keep it in that position. Again, because they're a walking or a running shoe, and there's not too much there's a lot that can go wrong with walking and running. I can have my arguments with this, but in the gym, there's a lot of different things that your foot has to be able to do in order for you to properly function and produce the movements how you're supposed to do them. And if you're in Hoka, you're unable to do that because it gives you arch support. Again, it's gonna cram in your toes, so you're unable to grip with just your big toe. And if you ever have to pronate at your arch, you're gonna be unable to because again of that arch support. So I just don't think that that's great. And when you wanna try to feel different aspects of your foot, because it's actually uneven, it's almost impossible for you to feel your heel and your big toe at the same time. And with most exercises, you need to be able to do that. If you heard me cue before, it's always push through your feet. You want to feel your heel, ball of your foot, and your big toe, and the outside ball of your foot. You want to feel all those 4 spots. In a Hoka or like shoes, you're not going to be able to do that. Again, try a lunge with them on, try a lunge with them off. Let me know which one goes a little bit better. Again, I think that the Barefoot shoe is the way to go, especially when in the gym. I think for all other times, a wide toe box shoe is a really good thing. I personally like the Ultras. They make a nice wide toe box walking shoe. I wear that if I ever go on a walk with my wife, or on the very, very rare occasion that I run on the road, I'll wear those because I only have trail running shoes. But yeah. So again, I use the Seguros. I think that those are really good. There's a lot of great brands out there. I've never worn Nobles, but I hear good things. The Zeros are pretty good. Just try a bunch of them out, right? Seguros are a very inexpensive quality shoe to start with. They're around $40. I would start with that one. Just wear them in the gym. Again, they're not the sexiest shoe ever, but they don't look too bad. And you're only wearing them for an hour a day. So give them a shot. Let me know if you got any questions, concerns, or hate to throw my way. And until next time.